Welcome to the Beginner's Guide to Microsoft Word by WA Courses. In this video, I'll be guiding you through all the essentials of Microsoft Word. Whether you're a student, a business person, or you're just using Word at home, this tutorial will help you start using Word effectively. In this guide, we'll be going through the Microsoft Word layout. We'll learn how to create a document using a template, how to create a blank document, how to format and spell check a document, how to insert a table and an image, how to add a header and a footer, how to save our document, and how to export our document to PDF. There are different versions of Microsoft Word. I will be using the version that's included in the Office 365 suite for Windows, which is subscription-based, so I always have the latest version. Let's get started. You can open Microsoft Word by clicking on the Start menu down here. Scroll down until you find Word and click on it. And there we have it. Microsoft Word. Now, if you plan on using Word frequently, it would be a good idea to pin it to your taskbar down here. Let's see how it's done. Let's close this window first. Go to the Start menu and find Word again. Click on it and drag it to the taskbar. Now I can open Word by simply clicking on the Word icon down here in the taskbar. So let's do that. Let's take a look at our options. We can open a blank document by clicking here or choose from a selection of templates. Let's have a look at the templates. By clicking on More Templates right here, you can see how many templates there are to choose from depending on what your purpose is. Look at all these templates. You can even narrow your options down by clicking on Suggested Searches right here. So, templates are always a great time saver and they're worth taking a look at. Imagine I wanted to create a CV using Word, which for me at least has always been a challenge. I would click on Resumes and Cover Letters. Look at all these options that Word offers me. Well, I think I like this one, so let's click on that. And create. The beauty of templates is that they are so straightforward and uncomplicated. Now we see here on the right a CV assistant has popped up, but we won't be needing that, so let's close that down. All I need to do in the template is click on each section and fill in my information. So my first name is Samantha and my surname is Thomas. Ready. I would do the same for all the rest of the information. When I'm done, I can either save it or print it out. For now, let's just close it down without saving it. Go to the X button in the top right corner and click on it. A reminder pops up that I haven't saved my document. I don't want to save it right now, so click on Don't Save. Now, let's open up Word again. And this time, let's start a blank document. You see that it opens up the Microsoft Word layout and a blank document. Let's take a quick tour of what you're seeing here in the layout. Across the top, we have File, Home, Insert, Design, Layout, and so on. These are called tabs. Each time you click on a tab, you see that different options appear below, right here. These are called ribbons. So, this is the ribbon of the Home tab. This is the ribbon of the Insert tab, and so on. Each ribbon is then divided into groups. For example, in the Home tab ribbon, we see the Clipboard group, the Font group, the Paragraph group, the Styles group, etc. You'll notice that some groups have a little launch button in the corner. So the Font group has a launch button, the Clipboard group has a launch button, the Paragraph group has a launch button, and the Style group has a launch button, but you won't see it in all the groups. So what exactly are these launch buttons? Well, basically, when you see a launch button, it means that there are more tools in this group that don't fit in the ribbon. By clicking on the launch button, you will get even more options than what appear in the group. Let's click on the launch button that's in the Font group. A window pops up with all the tools available in this group, both visible in the ribbon and the ones that aren't visible here. Let's close this down for now. Before we get started working on our blank document, let's make some small adjustments that might come in handy. Let's go down here to the status bar. This is the status bar. Now, in the right corner, you can adjust the visibility of your document by zooming in or out. Zooming in or out, whatever you're comfortable with. I prefer my visibility to be at 100%, so let's keep it there. In the left corner of the status bar, you'll notice that Microsoft Word keeps a running count of the number of words and pages in the document. Currently, we have 0 words and 1 page. Let's type something in and see what happens. Let's type Beginner's Guide to Word. My word count now shows 4 words. Now this could be particularly useful to students if, for example, they need to write a 500-word essay. What's even more cool about it is that by clicking on word count, you get all the information about your document. So here in this little box that popped up, we can see how many pages, how many words, how many characters with no spaces, how many characters with spaces, and so on. Let's close this down for now and start working on our document. I have now typed in what I needed into my document, but it appears that I have made a lot of mistakes. And how can I tell? From all the underlines. Word marks misspelled words with a red squiggly line, just like here, here, and here, while grammatical glitches get a double underline, like here and here. Now, I always like to correct my language before I start formatting a document, so let's do that first. We can either go through all the underlines one at a time or do a complete spell and grammar check on the whole document at once. Let's first start one at a time. My first mistake is right here. And Word is telling me that it is a grammatical mistake. By right-clicking on it, I can see the problem. It says remove extra space, so I had extra space between the two words. It suggests one space, so I will click that and it corrects it automatically. Moving on to the next mistake, right-click, and Word gives me some suggestions. Well, I meant to say guide, so I click on the first one and it is corrected. Here I meant to say essentials, so I click on that. Here I also have extra space, so let's correct that one. And here I meant to say save. Click on that and my document is error-free now. Now let's try it a different way, but first I need a text with the mistakes in. I would like to go back to my original document with the mistakes. Across the top, above the tabs, you can see two arrows. These are the undo and redo buttons. By clicking on the undo button, which is the one on the left, this one, Word literally undoes the last thing that you did. What was the last thing that we did? We corrected the word save. So let's try clicking on undo, and there we are. I can keep clicking on undo until I get my mistakes back. And there we are. I'm now back to my original text. Our goal now is to complete a full spelling and grammar check on the entire document. Now, let's click on the Review tab up here. There we are. The first group that we see in the Review tab is the Proofing group. Now let's click on the Spelling and Grammar check. An editor opens up on the right side containing all of our mistakes. Now let's start with our spelling mistakes. We click on that and correct the words. So I meant guide here, essentials, and save. Now our grammar mistakes. Enter, and I keep correcting until I have finished with all my grammar mistakes. And done. We have now completed our check. So let's close down the editor. Another cool button in the proofing group is the Thesaurus, which will help us use a variety of words instead of using the same words over and over. So let's select a word in our text by double-clicking it. For example, essentials. Then click on Thesaurus. The Thesaurus pops up on the right side, giving us alternative words. Click on the arrow next to the word you like to choose, insert, and ready. Now we can close the Thesaurus. Now that I have an error-free document, I would like to start formatting it. The most commonly needed tools for formatting can be found in the Home tab. Now, from the font group, I can change the font size. I can use bold, italics, I can underline, and so on. In order to apply any changes, I first need to select my text. So I would like to change the font settings for the entire text. So I need to select the entire text. Now, Word pops up a little toolbar with some of the most common font formatting options. I can either make my changes from this toolbox or from the ribbon. Let's do it from the ribbon. I would like to change my font and the font size. Now, the first line of my text is intended to be a heading, so I would like it to stand out from the rest. I can manually select it and turn it to bold and also change the font size. Another way of doing this is from the Styles group. First, let's undo the changes we'd made to the heading with the undo button. And now make sure your cursor is placed before the heading and choose a style. This won't do. Oh, I like this one. Ideally, I would like my heading to be aligned in the center. I can do this from the paragraph group. Right here. So right now it's aligned to the left. I can choose to align it in the center by clicking on the center alignment. And there we go. It is aligned in the center. Now I'd like to make a list in my document. I need to place the cursor exactly where I want my list to go. So I want my list to go here. In the paragraph group, I have the options of using bullets or a numbering list. I would like bullets. By clicking on the arrow next to the bullets, I can choose what bullets I want. So let's choose one. And now I can type in my text. So layout. As soon as I hit enter, another bullet appeared automatically. But something else also happened. The L in layout got capitalized. This is Word's automatic capitalization. If I wanted to keep the lowercase, I could hover over the letter L until this little picture appears right here. Click on it and press Undo Automatic Capitalization. Now I can continue typing. So create, format, check, insert, and save. Now that was the end of my list, so I don't need any more bullets. I can hit backspace once to delete the bullet. If I hit backspace again, the cursor goes to where the bullets are, and by hitting backspace once more, I'm in alignment with the rest of my text in the document. Now I want to insert a table into my document. I would like my table to go right here where the cursor is. I can insert a table from the Insert tab and click on the arrow on Table. From here, I can choose the size of my table, how many rows and how many columns I want my table to have. So I want a table with 3 rows and 4 columns. And I click. Now, the little boxes are called cells. I can type into the cells simply by clicking in the cell. So you can click and write Layout, Create, Insert, and Save. Now, another tab has popped up. It's called Table Design. From this ribbon right here of the table design, you can format and design your table. So you can choose a design from here, whichever one you like. You can put shading, but notice now that my shading only goes to the cell where my cursor is. If I wanted to shade the whole row, I would need to select the whole row. I can select the whole table by clicking on the arrow here, or I can select just a row by clicking on the side of the row, like this. Now, whatever changes I make will apply to the whole row, so my shading will apply to the whole row, not just one cell. From the borders, I can also choose which borders I want, if any. And of course, this will only apply to the selected part of the table, not to the whole table. If I wanted to apply to the whole table, I would need to select the whole table and then make any changes to the borders. Now, to perfect my document, I want to insert a picture. So I would go to the Insert tab to insert a picture and click on Pictures from the ribbon. Find the picture that you want from your computer and insert. There's my picture. Now I want my picture to go at the top of the page. So let's try to move it around. Click on it and drag. Well, it won't let me take it to the top of the page. So I can click on the icon here, Layout Options, and choose from one of these options how the picture can interact with the rest of the document. So I think this one would work for me. And now I can drag the picture to where I want, at the top of the page. I'd like to align it in the center, and you see a help line that Word has telling me that it is centered in the middle now. I can resize my image by clicking on one of the corners and dragging, so I can enlarge it or shrink it, just like this. Okay, I think that's perfect. Now center it in the middle again, and there's our picture. Another thing I like to do is take advantage of the full size of the page in Word. Now you can see on the sides that we have rather large margins, and the top and the bottom. I would like to narrow these margins. I can do that from the Layout tab, click on Margins and select Narrow. Now you can see a big difference here. Now you can take advantage of more space on the page. I'd like to add one more thing to my document. I would like a header to go at the top of every single page of my document and a footer to go at the bottom of every single page. I can do this by selecting the Insert tab and then Header. You see all these options. It can go on the left side. We can have 3 columns, left, middle and right. And we can also have one that adds a border to our document too. So let's choose this one. There's our header. Let's go ahead and type in our title, Beginner's Guide. Now our header is ready and you also see the border. Click on Close Header and Footer. And now let's insert a footer into our document. Select Footer. You can have one on the left side, 3 columns. You can also have a page number. For page number, I would choose page number and choose from the options. So I want my number to be on the right side of the page, and there it is. Page number 1. Close header and footer. Now just to show you that the header and footer would go on every single page, there we have page number 2 with our header and our footer, page number 2. Now that my document is ready, I would like to save it. So there's my document. To save it, I would go to the File tab. Now, we have 2 options that say Save. We have the Save and the Save As. We would use Save As to save a document for the first time. We would use Save when I have made changes to the document and just want to save those changes. This is our first time saving, so let's click on Save As. I can save to OneDrive, which would enable me to have access from other devices too. Or I can choose another place. I can choose Browse and choose where I want it to be saved. So let's save it to the desktop and save. Now, let's close this document and make sure that it has been saved to my desktop. And there it is, Beginner. My document has successfully been saved to the desktop. Another option in the File tab is to print the document. All you need to do is go through these options and print. An excellent feature is Create PDF. So you can export your Word document to PDF, which is great for people using different versions of Word. So a PDF would appear the same to everyone. That was the end of the Beginner's Guide to Word by WA Courses. Thank you for watching.